What is up, guys? It is the Redstone Scientist here with the long overdue explanation video for my super fancy, super flush, reusable, completely safe TNT dispenser. You should be seeing on screen now a visualization of the actual thing, as well as the grass-removed inner workings of the machine. So this took quite a long time to compact. It's got a whole bunch of timing circuits, a number of T flip-flops, and monostable circuits. It's got a whole bunch of circuits in there, but really the important thing, all of it is pretty standard. The important thing that I'm going to show you today is the mechanism by which I made it flush, and sort of just the basic principles behind it. The actual T flip-flops and monostable circuits will just take too long for me to go through entirely. So I've set up a little demonstration for you to help you visualize and understand what I've done here. I could show you over here a few setups that I created. Now, first of all, I learned recently from Exumavoid, from one of his Redstone Advent Calendar videos, that the entire function of this machine, which is to damage mobs and just create explosion particles without being too obtrusive. So, turns out, there's a glitch in Minecraft that is still in the 1.9 snapshots that will accomplish exactly that. All you have to do is put obsidian in front of a dispenser facing into it with TNT in it, and literally that's all there is to it. However, the advantages of my design are that because the TNT is actually above the ground, okay, it'll actually do some damage. So if we put a whole bunch of creepers here, right, and we set off the TNT, let's see how many of them die. Let's see what the damage is like. None of them die. But if we put a whole bunch of creepers around here, right,
and even if we were to extend this out, with the grass and everything, like you saw in the showcase, which was a better example, but I'll just show it here really quickly. If we do this, you'll be able to see every single creeper will die. If we just wait for another cycle to go.
There we go. Every single creeper will die because they're literally, like, right in the middle of the TNT blast. And there you go. That's how that happens. So that's why the alternative design, that's why all of this complicated stuff is necessary. So now let's get on to the actual method of how it works. Let's kill all creepers. And now I'm going to show you how it works. So, the problem is, in order to make this flush, originally this was not a flush design. Originally, I had just a dispenser one block below here, and so you had a little hole in the ground where the water would go. But the problem with that, in order to make it flush, right, I had to have... It was very complicated. Let me show you over here. This is a replica, almost replica, I'll add something in a little bit, of the droppers and hoppers in the machine. So this is just extracted, okay, with some buttons to help me demonstrate. So let's say we have... So here's the flush design, right? Here's where the floor is, where this dispenser is. The problem is, in order to make it flush, okay, there's only one place where the TNT has to come from, because we have to pass both TNT and water through the same dispenser. So the only place where we can input any items into this dispenser is from below. We can't do it from the sides or from the top because then it wouldn't be flush. So it has to come from below. The only way we can get any items into this dispenser is with a dropper or dispenser below it. So that means we cannot put a hopper where this dropper is. We can't do that. So then the question becomes, how do we get, in order to make this reusable, we only want to use one water bucket, right? That we just suck back up the water every time. In order to do that, we need to somehow get the items out of here, right? So in order to do that, it's actually... the problem was, we can't put a hopper under here, but we've got to get it out. Let me show you how this works. Using some shulker glowing magic, I can show you. This is the setup in the machine. So in this dispenser, this dropper, everything here is a dropper except for this top thing, which is a dispenser. We've got a dropper full of all of our TNT, which we can restock. In the bottom dropper here, we've got a water bucket. So here's how it works. First, in the first segment, we dispense the TNT. You can tell where the TNT is and where the water is by the blue and the red. Then we dispense. Now, because I pushed this button, both of these are going to activate. So the TNT gets dispensed, the water goes up one, the water gets dispensed, and the yellow represents an empty water bucket, as you can see. Then we suck the water back up, and now we have a problem. How do we get this bucket back down to here? So let me show you the solution to that. So here is a more accurate setup of actually what's going on in there. And this is where a little bit of a magic trick happens. So basically what I have here is I have tricked this rail into being diagonal. We do that by removing this hopper, placing a rail there, and it automatically becomes diagonal. We remove it, we place the hopper back. If we place a minecart with hopper there, you can see that the minecart with hopper is actually, is actually halfway into this block and halfway into this block, which is important because minecart hoppers cannot suck up items from the same block that they are in. So if I put a whole bunch of spruce wood in here, this hopper minecart, oh, look at that. That's a glitch in the latest snapshot, container.minecart. It's not going to pick it up. But if I were to put the items in here, it will. So that's how you can remove items from 2 blocks up, or I suppose 1.5 blocks up. That's how I can get it to bypass that, okay? But here's the thing. How does this help us, right? Let's do the little demonstration again. We dispense the TNT, we do the water, we dispense the TNT, we dispense the water, we dispense the water, and now you see we have the empty water bucket, but uh-oh, the hopper minecart immediately sucks it back down, and now we've got an empty bucket here, and the whole system's screwed up. So, how do we combat that? Well, this piston over here is where the magic happens. See, I just cycled it through again so it would pick it up. This is where the magic happens. In reality, in the system, the piston's actually facing this way, but for demonstration purposes, it looks better this way. So, the minecart with hopper is actually sitting on an activator rail. Now, if you don't know, you can lock a minecart hopper by having it on a powered activator rail, which is the same as locking a hopper, which means it cannot accept any items, which is good for us. So, let's work through, this is the actual process without any steps removed of what goes on over there. First, we activate the activator rail so the minecart with hopper is locked. We dispense the TNT. We move the water. We dispense that. We move the water again. We dispense the water. Nothing happens because this is locked. We press the button again, suck the water back up, pull this lever, and it is free to flow down into here, and we are ready with a totally reset system. And that's the magic behind how this thing works. It's really very cool. Now, there is one other thing I want to mention. In the showcase video, I mentioned that the water is only there for 1 tick. That is actually not true. And in fact, it is impossible for it to do that. Let me give you a limited demonstration here about why that is impossible. Over here, I've got a... actually, I don't need a redstone block. All I have to do is... wait. Yeah, this button. So, over here, we've got... let me put some items in there. This is a clock pulsing 20 times a second. But as you can see, the items are certainly not dispensing at 20 items a second. That is certainly not what is happening here. And there's a reason for that. And the reason being that a dropper and a dispenser actually have a cooldown time. A cooldown time which is 2 redstone ticks. Or I suppose 1 redstone tick. Yeah, excuse me. 1 redstone tick. Or 2 game ticks. So what that means is we're actually getting items dispensing at 10 times a second. Half the speed. So what that means is we can't have the water just there for 1 tick. But what's good to know, as you can see, we can further demonstrate this by, if we separate these by 1 redstone tick, even though we clearly got 2 different pulses, one over here and one over there, whoops, let me put this back, the dispenser only recognizes 1 of them because it needs that cooldown tick. So if we increase this to 3, hold on, let's have it get sucked back up again. If we increase this to 3, now we've got a cooldown tick, and you can see the water actually doesn't have any time to flow anywhere. And the reason for that is that water takes exactly 5 game ticks to start to flow. So water does not update until 5 game ticks later. And in 1 redstone tick, there are 2 game ticks, which means that here's game tick 1, the water gets dispensed. Then, 4 game ticks later, the water gets sucked up, meaning we're 1 tick short, So if we were to wait 1 tick longer, the water would start to flow. So that is basically all there is to it. That basically tells you how long the water is there for. It's there for 4 ticks, the problems I had to face, how I solved them, this really cool trick. And although it's kind of a useless contraption, there could be some uses for it. I mean, for people who really like, hipster kind of super fancy stuff in their base, there are uses for it to just clean out mobs, but I think I'm very proud of the way this creation turned out. I really think it looks great. It works just like magically well, and I'm really happy with the solutions I came up with. So that is just about all I have time for today. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, or better yet, hit that subscribe button, or even share it with your friends. Share it on social media. I cannot stress that enough. I love it when people share my videos on social media. So make sure to check out the jam-packed description for more science. I will see you next time. And of course, thanks for watching.